What's up, everybody? Porcupine Theater here with a quick reaction from something that happened on last night's Raw, and also addressing a rumor that has been going around. First off, last night's Raw was, it was actually not that bad of a show. They finally explained something that I think a lot of people were kind of questioning, and that's why it seemed like a lot of people were double-dipping on the various shows. And they finally explained that the draft does not take effect until after Backlash. So until Backlash is over this coming Sunday, this is still going to happen, which means on SmackDown you could easily see people from Raw that were formerly on SmackDown, people making their SmackDown goodbyes or anything like that. Because like on Raw, we saw Chris Jericho give his farewell address, challenge Ricky Steamboat to a match at Backlash, which Steamboat accepted, which, considering Steamboat still has it in my opinion, has the potential to be a very, very good match, and I'm really looking forward to that. However, his final act on Raw was to go up against John Cena, the world champ, in a match. And let me tell you, I spoke a lot in the last podcast about the matchup between the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and The Undertaker at Wrestlemania. I said that a lot of superstars should look at this matchup and seriously try to emulate it, to really bring the crowd to their feet, to really give the match over to the crowd and let the reaction come from them and just be a powerful experience. And this is what happened between this matchup between Jericho and Cena. This was probably one of the best matches that I've seen on Raw in quite some time. There were a lot of fantastic spots. It was not a main event. It was you could call it the midway point, the sub-main event, the midway main event, whatever you want to call it. But this was a matchup that went back and forth. You saw both people hit their finishing move. You saw them both show obvious signs of fatigue, and you saw a lot of action, and both of them kicked out from the finishing moves. Jericho was able to kick out of the Attitude Adjustment, or FU, whichever you want to call it, and John Cena was able to kick out of the Code Breaker. Of course, since there was a lot more to be said, and a lot more to be done, Jericho was able to reach the ropes whenever he was put in the STF, or the STFU, whatever, and Cena was able to do the same whenever he was put in the Walls of Jericho. This matchup, aside from a few flubs where it kind of seemed like they were a little off, I gave a solid 9 out of 10 for this matchup. Now, I'm not going to do a full Raw review, because most of you probably saw the event, and for those of you who didn't, this is what you really missed. This matchup was something that was truly spectacular, and since you missed it, I apologize on your behalf, because it was great. It's memorable. The second thing I wanted to address was that there's a rumor that's going around that after Backlash, Jeff Hardy has announced that he is finished. That he has only a couple months left on his contract, and he just does not want to be a part of the WWE anymore. And personally, I can't find any place that has confirmed this, denied it, done anything to really show the validity to this rumor. However, I could kind of understand where he would be coming from, considering his contract is almost up, and the huge angle that he was supposed to have with Christian obviously got changed to between him and his brother Matt, only to have Matt drafted over to Raw, which makes a fairly good sense, because the one thing that Raw is lacking, aside from Randy Orton, and aside from Chris Jericho, who of course went over to SmackDown, they're lacking heels. They have a lot of people that whenever you see them, the whole entire crowd will erupt into a cheer, or will just give absolutely no reaction to. So the addition of Matt Hardy to that roster is very good. However, it kind of puts a stalemate on the angle a little bit, since Jeff Hardy is sticking onto SmackDown. Now, they do, of course, have the matchup this coming Sunday, which I believe is no disqualification. There's that stipulation. It's going to be another just brutal matchup between brothers. And once again, this has the opportunity to be a fantastic match. But if Jeff Hardy is that upset about the angle being changed at the last minute that he's going to let himself walk from the WWE, I think it's a poor choice, because Jeff Hardy has the opportunity to be a bona fide star on SmackDown still, since he's there. I mean, I really think that he could have been the one that deserved the promotion up to the Raw brand, but at the same time, it would make SmackDown a lot more worth watching, considering all of the young and very agile talents that they have. I mean, consider this. You would have Chris Jericho, you would have Edge, you would have Jeff Hardy, you would have Shelton Benjamin, you have John Morrison, CM Punk. There's a lot of great talent on SmackDown. And if Jeff Hardy leaves, it's not going to be that big of a hit to a roster that's that big. However, a lot of fans are going to be extremely disappointed. So I'm really hoping that this is just a rumor that is very unfounded. I really hope that if it's something that Jeff Hardy is truly considering, that he is able to be talked out of it, whether it be by his brother Matt or anybody else in the back or Vince McMahon himself. Jeff, if you're out there, if you somehow see this, I implore you, stick it out. I understand that what happened was a shitty situation, and they really kind of screwed the pooch on what could have been a fantastic angle. But let me tell you, for your amount of talent and what you're able to bring to the WWE, I think you would really benefit from sticking around. And by doing so, I think that you will be rewarded. I think the one thing that holds Jeff Hardy back sometimes are these quick decisions to leave and some of the other decisions that he's made throughout his life. And as you know, in TNA, he left on bad terms, which is not a good thing. But anyways, guys, these are just a couple of my opinions. If you saw Raw and you saw the matchup between Cena and Jericho, I'm sure you share my opinion. And if you don't, then I'm really sorry to hear that, because it really was a fantastic match. Aside from that, what's going to happen on SmackDown? What's going to happen on ECW? I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Backlash. I think that after some things that happened on Raw, we're going to see a lot of interesting things on Backlash. I think it's a pay-per-view that's actually going to be worth paying the money for. I think it's going to be better than WrestleMania. At least I'm hoping so, because WrestleMania set the bar awful low. But at any rate, guys, leave your opinions. Check you later.